Creative date ideas. First dates can either be heaven or hell, and for some people they're hell. They're nervous and unsure about what's going to happen and unsure about how they feel. That first date should be heaven, and a lot depends on what you decide to do on that date. If you're a woman watching this video, you might be thinking, it's the guy's job to decide where we'll go on the first date. It's not just the guy's job to decide. If you don't add your input, you could be setting yourself up for a rough time. The worst first date. Without doubt, the most horrible first date is the dinner and a movie date. It's boring and routine, the same old thing. If you go to dinner and a movie on the first date, you'll have two problems. First, at dinner you're most likely going to be at a table next to other people. You're on your first date and you're going to be a bit reserved about what you talk about with your date. You don't want the people at the next table listening in. For some reason, people don't want strangers to know they're on a first date, and you don't get much accomplished at dinner. On top of that, you're nervous, so you probably don't eat much anyway. Then, you're off to a movie where you have your second problem. You're going to sit with this person for 2 hours and say completely nothing. Instead, you should look for the interesting, the extraordinary, the exciting. Want creative date ideas? Go to a comedy club, because it's a certain winner. You'll both laugh your sides off, and there's time to talk in between acts. It's light, relaxed, and effortless fun. After that, go out for a light bite to eat, or even better, go for a walk. If the neighborhood is appropriate, of course. Another good first date is to go to an outdoor street fair or outdoor markets. You have time to talk, leisurely walk, and enjoy each other's company. If there's a lake nearby, go paddle boating, play racquetball, tennis, or go roller skating. Rent a bicycle for two. But keep the first date reasonably short. A couple of hours should be okay. Keep the intrigue going for a while, because an all-day first date is an actual risk. After the first date. So, we're past the first date. Let's get going with some more creative date ideas for second, third, fourth dates. These ideas range from the free to the extremely expensive. Since I don't know where your interests lie, I'll cover a broad range. Airports are superb places for dates. Talk about spanning the price range. The airport is the place for that, and it's free. The majority of airports have observation decks, and they're nearly all free. It's easy to spend a couple of relaxed hours watching the planes and talking. In fact, depending on the airport, you might be able to park your car at the end of one of the runways and sit back and watch the planes landing just yards above your car. You can also go for rides in private planes. The price is generally around $40 to $60 per person. You go up in a 4-seater plane and fly around the area. You can go one step further and take a flying lesson. A lot of flying schools have introductory lessons, which includes a flight. This cost is about $40 to $60 per person. For a real thrill, you can look at the travel ads in the newspapers. Look for short notice sales on local flights. Occasionally, you can find special sales offering local flights, say from New York to Washington, D.C., for $38 to $58. You can also find tickets for sale in your local want ads. These tickets are being sold by people who changed their plans and can't fly as they expected. The tickets they bought are non-refundable, so if they don't sell them, they lose all their money. Instead of losing everything, they'd rather sell them at a big discount and at least get something back. What a jackpot for you, and the tickets are completely good. And here's what you do. Get the 2 cheap tickets and suggest you go to the airport and watch the planes land. Don't say anything about the tickets, and make sure to stay near the gate you're leaving from. When the boarding announcement is made for your flight, pop the tickets out and get on board. Clearly, you're only going to spend the day at your destination. Your shock date will be totally unprepared for longer than that, but what a date! Try something different. Have you ever sent up helium balloons with notes attached? You haven't? Then you've been missing out on a lot of fun. Go to a party store and get a bunch of balloons. They'll also probably sell small tanks of helium. Then go to an open area on a day that doesn't have much of a breeze. Inflate the balloons with the helium, then attach notes to them and let them go. You can attach any type of note you want, but you probably want one that asks the person who finds it to send it back to you, letting you know where they found it. Check out garage sales. They're a real hoot. You don't have to buy anything, but I challenge you to go to a bunch of sales and don't come home with something. Take scuba lessons together. It's not all that expensive, and it's an experience you'll never forget. Plus, the extra bonus is you'll be together for the weeks the lessons take place. How about going for a horse-drawn carriage ride? Women particularly love them. Hire a vintage car and go for a drive. It used to be that you could only hire the standard Ford, Chevy, Oldsmobile, etc. from car rental companies, but this is no longer the case. More and more companies are renting what they call exotic cars. These can range from a classic 1955 Chevy to a Mercedes sports car to a Ferrari. Obviously, they cost more than a regular rental, but just wait until you sit behind the wheel. You're in for an experience, plus a lot of waves, horn toots, and thumbs ups while you're driving. Go to a local archaeological dig. Call the nearest museum and ask if they know of any local archaeological digs going on. Ask for the telephone number of a contact person and call them. Offer to volunteer your services for a day. Don't think that the only digs are going on overseas. They're going on in neighborhoods all around the country. Scientists and museums are always interested in finding out more about the way we lived centuries ago. One obvious way to get this information is by digging for it. Without fail, the people responsible for the dig will not have enough hands for all the work that has to be done. They're almost certain to welcome your offer with open arms. On the same idea, go digging for fossils. Call your state geologist's office and ask for information about fossil collecting sites near you. Go to the library and get a very basic book on collecting. Pack a lunch and you're on your way. In fact, the state geologist might have some basic information on collecting they can send you. Attend charity benefits. These are real winners. The benefits in your area will most likely be listed in the society section of your local newspaper. Tickets range in price from $40 to thousands each, but they're a lot of fun. Take a walk through an old cemetery, the kind from the 1600s or 1700s. If you find an especially interesting stone, ask if you can take a rubbing. To do this, go to an art store. Tell them you want to make a rubbing of a headstone. They'll sell you either a kit that has everything, or a few large sheets of paper and a couple of pieces of special chalk or crayon. Tape the paper to the headstone with masking tape, and then rub the paper with the crayon or chalk. Right before your eyes, you'll see an amazing image of the headstone appear on your paper. When you're done, take off the tape and roll up your masterpiece. No damage is done to the stone, and you'll have a real work of art for your wall. Go to a wedding lots of times. Wedding plans will be announced in the local newspapers. Get dressed up and go to the church. Forget about the reception, because that wouldn't be such a good idea. But who wouldn't like to have more people at the church during their wedding ceremony? Take a helicopter tour of your area. If you thought taking an airplane tour was exciting, then this will probably blow you away. Check at your local airport for helicopter tours, or just look in the yellow pages under airports, airplanes, helicopters, etc. How about something more energetic? Try a golf driving range. It makes completely no difference that you've never played golf before. You can rent a bucket of balls and a couple of golf clubs. You walk over to a long row of tee-off areas. Pick one, put down a ball, and start swinging. In fact, if you've never played golf, you'll most likely have more fun. I guarantee that within minutes you'll be holding your sides, screaming in laughter at each other's attempts at hitting the balls. Rent a couple of metal detectors and go hunting for buried treasure. You can at least look for a nifty diamond ring someone may have dropped on the beach or in the park. Watch a Little League game. Sure, we've all seen Major League games, but until you've seen Little League, you haven't seen baseball. Build a kite together, and then let it rip in the park. I don't mean buy one of those cheap paper kites that you just need the two sticks in the middle crossed in order to be ready to fly. I mean, buy one of those $40 to $100 works of art in a kit, the kind that will take an hour or two to put together, and will deserve a place on your wall after it's made in flight. Do some volunteer work together. You already know how great you feel after a date with someone you really care about. Add to that the satisfied feeling of volunteering your time together, and you've got a real winner. Lots of places need volunteers, even for just one day. Places like hospitals, libraries, museums, schools. I'm sure you know where to look for these opportunities. Go play bingo. This is one thing you have to do before you take your last breath. You probably will only want to do it once, but it's worth the experience. Go to your township meeting. Never been to one? Here's another experience you shouldn't miss. Just call your town clerk's office and ask when the next public meeting is being held. Anyone is welcome. Along the same lines, go to a session of your local traffic or criminal court. Again, just call the town clerk's office and ask when court is held. Just like the town meetings, it's open to the public, and no one asks why you were there. Have you ever gone to the ballet? Every time people hear the word ballet, they turn up their nose like someone was putting yesterday's stale fish in front of them. Once you've tried the ballet, you may get hooked. Just use your imagination. I have just given you lots of ideas for some great dates. I'm sure that my list has just started your own imagination working. Keep on adding to it. Keep a notebook and fill it with great ideas. The real moral of this story is, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Don't make your dates predictable. It's fine to go out on Friday nights, but sometimes make the date a surprise. Make it a short notice surprise. Sure, sometimes your plans will fall through because the other person isn't free, but try again. Even though the other person couldn't make your surprise short notice date this time, you can bet that it left a good impression. Be as imaginative and memorable as you can. This doesn't mean that you have to go to a lot of time and expense. One of the biggest problems facing relationships is routine. The same old, you know. In fact, it's such a big problem, it gives you a great opportunity. So few people are memorable, imaginative, or creative. so few people really put an effort into a date, especially after dating someone for a while, that it's going to be very easy for you to stand out. A date as simple as going to a town council meeting or a criminal court session will leave an impression. It's not that same old thing. There really are two elements to a great date: who you are with and how you are with them. We all have really great imaginations. Most people just don't put them to work enough, so they rust. It's articles such as this one that helps people brush away some of that rust and see what's really there. I hope you found this video useful. Check out bestdateideas.com for more tips.